working in the factory years ago. Got married young. My wife and I have been married 42 years. We have 3 children.
Wow.
Yeah. We have 7 grandchildren. Matter of fact, today is my youngest's birthday. She's 7. My youngest granddaughter. And and my oldest grandson is 17, so they go from 7 to 17. And we have a great family. We all work together. We all play together. My kids all work in our business. We're in the satellite cable business in Ohio. We also have a hotel and resort. But it wasn't always those ways. I got to tell you that what God allowed me to go through in the early days were struggles like many of us go through. And struggles is what makes us tough. My friend John Maxwell, he sits on our board, the Red Board, and John wrote a book about that, falling forward and failing forward. And it's okay. And I think all the times that I failed. I remember my first business I started. I never made a dime. I don't know if anybody ever started a business, never made a dime. I mean, I'm talking about profit. I'm talking about a dime. Never made a dime, and it went out of business, and I went into the second business. And I'm encouraging my wife all along. I was like, "Come on, honey, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna do this." And we're in the second business, and that business, wow, that really cost us. We lost everything. We lost our home. We thought we lost everything. We lost our home and our furniture and our cars, all those things we thought so important. And we did lose at the same time, which was very unfortunate. It was my wife's father. He owned a small grocery store. Right about within a few weeks of all this happening in business, a couple guys came in and robbed him and shot him in the stomach and killed him. And a few weeks later, my father died in our safe. So within about 3 months period of time, we were down to nothing. And this was in 1972. And my wife was living with her mother in Florida. I was living with my mother in Ohio, and I didn't know the Lord at the time. And wow, it was like very difficult. And I remember my mother sitting me on the side of my bed when they took my last car that day. The bank came and took it. They didn't even have a key. They just come and took it. That's what happens. They don't pay. And I remember her just saying, do you want to give it up? And you've done all you can do. Why don't you just see what God can do? And I'll never forget that. That was January 3rd, 1973. And I called my wife and said, "Hey, honey, it's a brand new me." And her response to that was, But God has been so good. We moved to California, got into some low-income housing projects out there from Ohio to California, and I had a brother in the military there, and he got me into low-income housing. $113 a month. I'll never forget that number. And God just started building our lives. I went into my third business, and I just appreciate my wife for trusting in me and allowing me to do it again. And so I'm into this business. This time it's in publishing, and I'm in the West Coast, I'm in California. 3rd year into my 3rd failing business, right? And it's going like this. And a friend of mine sent me this little book, and that's what I want to get to this morning. He was mentored. I think you all have one in your packet. He was mentored by an 8th grade educated Amish guy who started a church, founder of our church that I go to today, founder of the organization I work with. One of the smartest men that I've ever met in my life. 8th grade education. And people would come from all over to go meet with this guy. When they were having problems, they would go see John. His name was John Schrock. They would go see John and say, "Hey, John." And he always told the young guys that he was mentoring, if you want to be wise in life, know and understand what King Solomon had to say, the wisest man to ever live. And so my friend Bernie, he took the book of Proverbs and went on vacation. And he went on vacation. He took two Bibles. He tore out the pages in the Living Bible with pages up on one Bible, even pages up on one Bible, odd pages up on the other Bible. Ran them through a wax machine, went on vacation, and cut and paste. And so if you look at this little book, if you look in the first few pages, there's an index.
First of all, you're a businessman.
Yeah, person in business.
And your business was not doing too good until something happened. So
Right.
why don't you explain that? Give us
Sure.
a step-by-step.
Sure. Well, I got to go back nearly 30 years ago when I was on my 3rd failing business. And I was on my third year of my third failing business when a friend of mine sent me this little book about values and principles.
Yes.
And it was really out of the book of Proverbs. But I didn't know it at the time. It was just all these great truths, these great nuggets that I read these, and my mind started to see things differently. I seen my wife differently, and I seen my kids and all my employees, and things started to work. We went from this to this.
Yes.
And really, our minds are like computers. It's a program. It's an operating system. And so when I got the right operating system, hey, things started working. Our nation was built on these things. Our United States was built with these things, and we had a great operating system. Our forefathers had a great operating system that made life work here, and we became the power of the world. We became the head, not the tail. We became the lender. We used to lend money out to nations. But today, as you know, we've lost that. We've lost that, and now we're the tail. We're being wagged around, and we're the borrow. You know, we have trillions of dollars we owe.
But is there a remedy? Is there a remedy?
Sure there is. The good news is that our nation was built with a great foundation, and it's up to you and I as saying how much do we want this house to burn down before we go back to our foundation. And that's what Lorette is. Lorette is an international network of business guys and business ladies that's got together 20 years ago and said, hey, let's make a difference. Not religious. Let's bring values and principles to the workplace. And through that, we started traveling around the world. God took us to 45 some plus nations. We work in Colombia, heavily in Colombia. Now we're working with the government of Colombia. We trained all the prison guards in Colombia. Then we went to now working with the military, 400,000. That's the Army, the Navy, Air Force, Marines, and National and Federal Police. Last week I was with the General of the Air Force, General Perez, with the Chief Joint of Staff of Honduras, where those two great leaders came together, and the Honduras general says, what are you doing, General, for your military to change like this in this last year? And he said, I'm bringing values and principles to my military, and you should do the same. And so we started in Honduras in 3 weeks. We've been working with President Calderon in Mexico, in all the prisons, working from the guards and down. And we've been working with the president there, with the police. And there's a lot of turmoil in Mexico. There's turmoil here in the United States because life doesn't work. We've got away from values and principles. But I think we got some great leaders. I respect President Calderon. I respect President Uribe that was in Colombia. He's been since retired, but he's a man that brought change to that nation, and that nation has really changed. Guatemala, we worked with the Supreme Court, every judge, every attorney, and so we're seeing change. But the good news is for the United States, I believe the businessmen, I believe the church, we're coming back. They're bringing values and principles to the workplace, and we'll see a change.
You know, Doctor, what I see, too, is what the bridge is. What the greatest thing is the Word of God.
Yep.
Has gone from Colombia, Guatemala, Mexico, here in the United States, and that will change. So your books and your program
Yep.
is based on that.
That's right. You can catch it online. It's all free. It's Lared.org. Lared is Spanish for the net, of course, LARED.org. And everything that we have is free on there that you can download it. It's a weekly system, and we have a project called Antivirus for young people from 6th grade through 12th grade to help them bring about values to their lives so that maybe they can cut out all the problems that you and I had growing up.
Yes. You know, all of you that are watching, we want you to be leaders, champions. That's what this country was founded on. And we want to see a change in our nation so that we will be successful on top again. And this is what this program does.
That's right. Hey, we can't wait for a president. It's not a president that's going to make a change in this nation. We've got to get out of thinking, oh, we got the wrong guy. No, come on. It's you and I that's going to make a change. It's not Washington that's going to make a change. It's San Antonio can make a change. Here in San Antonio, we can get together and we can start making change by building values and principles in each other's lives. And then we can change the state, and then we can change the nation.
Super, super. So we're going to see more of this. I'm sure that I understand your program is going to come back to San Antonio, and certainly eager to see some of that implemented here, and so that we can start seeing a change in these areas of the schools, great concepts, I'm sure, government.
In government, yes.
And so...
And the workplace.
Right. Super.
I was going to say, if you're an employer and you have employees, there's a responsibility with employees, and you can help your employees by bringing up the conscience level of the values and principles, and we have a value-based for your employees that you can take an hour a week and spend with your employees, and you watch the difference. You watch the social capital grow.
Great. So we can only just give you a brief little bit, but I'm sure that this is going to be very valuable to all of you that are, here in San Antonio, Laredo, Texas, and of course, God bless you all. Again, your
Website is lared.org, www.lared.org.
Amen, amen. Keith's role here at the church, again, the church.
The church is Now Word Covenant Church. I'm a member here at this church. I've been a member here for about 3 years, but I've been coming for about 5 years. And I'm originally from West Palm Beach, Florida, but I'm a retired military officer and chaplain, and I ended up retiring from Robins Air Force Base and coming back to San Antonio to make my home.
Wow, that's great. Well, this program that you had, you're the head of it. And what inspired you to do this?
Well, I am have an up and inspiring for-profit business called the Excellence Center, and this will be the for-profit arm of my nonprofit organization, Royal Ambassadors Ministries, where we do leadership training, mentoring, we do humanitarian projects. I take doctors, medical students to the various nations. We've traveled to Africa 21 times in the 10 years that Royal Ambassadors Ministry has been into existence. We do water wells. A lot of the people don't have clean drinking waters to drink, and we've done water wells, water purifiers, and monies in the churches as well as in the communities are drying up. And so the Excellence Network, where we have this concept of technology, which involves media and communications and TV, etc., as well as enterprise and leadership. These were some major concepts that Jerry Anderson talked about that we need to really utilize to bring about the transformation we're looking to bring about in our cities, in our nation, America, as well as the various nations around the world. So the Excellence Network, we are an alliance partnership. Men such as Jerry, they come in. We network together. Networking is what it's all about, to bring about the collaboration. One man can't do it alone. No person's an island.